And one of the keys I think that I come to when I think about this is the fuel. In that, in a fusion generator, you are continuously feeding in this hydrogen, these deuterium fuels. And at any one time in a helion fusion system, and most fusion systems, you have 1 second of fuel in that system. And so what that means is if you stop putting fuel into that system, fusion just stops. But what it also means is that if something really catastrophic happened and for whatever reason, you have all of that fuel that's not in the system. And fusion is so hard to make happen. You hit it with a meteor, you do anything in that nature, and fusion doesn't happen. That hydrogen, that heavy water, that deuterium just goes back into the environment safely and cleanly without issue. And so that's the fundamental safety mechanism of fusion. And you can compare that with other types of power plants, oil or a coal power plant. You might have a large pile of coal that then catches fire and burns. And it's not catastrophic, but you have a large coal fire for a long time, releasing toxic fumes that you may have to deal with. And in nuclear power and a fission power plant, you may have several years of fuel sitting in the core. And in that case, if something bad happened, you have all that potential energy for things to happen. But in fusion, you have literally 1 second of fuel at any time in the system. And having a tank of deuterium, which we have around all the time, can't do fusion by itself. It needs that complex system.
I love that there's like a PowerPoint going on in a secret meeting about like what happens if a meteor hits a fusion power plant. Okay, so that's really interesting. What about the waste? What kind of waste is there for fusion power plants?
So the fusion reaction itself is still fundamentally an atomic reaction. And so during this reaction, you do create ionizing radiation. You create X-rays, you create neutrons, and you create all these charged particles. The charged particles themselves for a fusion reaction are all contained in the fusion system.